He's top-aided 3 consecutive Modern Opens. He is playing Kiki Court as expected. In Game 3 against Jessy Hefner, who's on Obzon. We'll go ahead and bring you into the game. A Scavenging Ooze on Hefner's side of the board and 3 lands on Jeff's. Now this is surprising. Every time I see Jeff play Kiki Court, there's always like 2 Birds of Paradise in play.
Yeah, it's weird.
None of them even died. I'm just... What are we doing, Jeff? Where's the...
So popular technology going into this weekend for these black control decks has been to feature Kalitas, particularly to mess with these graveyard shenanigans. Hefner doesn't have any copies of that, but he does have Scavenging Ooze. There's 3 copies in the deck, and that's what he's going to use to shut off things like Eternal Witness out of Jeff's deck.
Now, Jeff's combo kill, unlike Obzon Company, actually doesn't use the graveyard.
Right. His turns leading up to his combo often do, but when he's actually going off, it's just on the battlefield. It's Restoration Angel and Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker.
So he plays Pia and Kiran Nalar on 4 mana. That's the first play of the game, and it looks like for Jeff. He's been let off the hook fairly easily for that being the case. Just a Tarmogoyf and a Scavenging Ooze on Jessy's board. Tarmogoyf's a 1-2 at the moment.
For now. A discard.
The Tarmo Squire.
Squire Goyf. That's my preferred nomenclature.
Yeah, it doesn't stay that way very long.
A discard spell off the top for Hefner, or just something like a Lightning Bolt on Pia and Kieran, suddenly is a 3-4. That card's still good. It's pretty difficult to make Tarmogoyf bad, actually.
You combo them. That's how you make it bad. What's a vanilla creature to a combo deck? I don't know. It's very good.
Well, it's what kills you while they cast discard spells and counter spells.
I'm much more scared of Scavenging Ooze. That card does things. Sometimes I'm comboing using the graveyard. Then I'm unhappy about that guy.
Very true. Scavenging Ooze has been creeping up in modern playability. It's a great card. Not surprising to see 3 copies in Hefner's deck.
We'll go over to Jesse's side. He'll play Maelstrom Pulse on the Pia and Kiran Nalar. That pumps Tarmogoyf up to a 3-4 by adding sorcery and creature to the graveyard.
Hefner would really like to have a green source to skews away the Pia and Kiran right away. An Eternal Witness on the following turn could be quite bad for Hefner.
If he swings both, Jeff can trade the Thopters with Scavenging Ooze. And it looks like Hefner's okay with that. He'll attack the team. Yeah, Jeff will make the double block. He takes 3, goes to 14.
I'm not a fan on Hefner throwing that Scavenging Ooze into those Thopter tokens. Given that he's a little choked on mana, it seems like the concession is, I'm not going to be able to activate this Scavenging Ooze very much in addition to playing Magic, so that's his thought process there. And it could be his hand is too choked to actually play with the Ooze.
Jeff, he's playing his own value game. Obstinate Baloth is the play. He'll go back up to 18 life.
If there's a second Scavenging Ooze, that'd be great.
The play will be Liliana of the Veil, forcing Jeff to discard a card. Liliana on the right side of the Obstinate Baloth exchange.
Right. When you use Liliana to make both players discard a card, Obstinate Baloth just enters the battlefield for free. When it's the only creature you control, suddenly the -2 actually lines up just perfectly.
Liliana wins the fight this time. So the Edict effect will take care of the Baloth. Tarmogoyf will swing back. Sorcery creature land for 3. Jeff will crack his fetch land to go back down to 14. But he's slowly creeping up toward combo territory. There is a Restoration Angel and Court of Calling in Jeff's hand, so he has the ability, given enough time, to get Kiki Jiki and Restoration Angel. Now, that's always tough to do against Obzon. They like to kill your things.
Right. Jessy earlier used Maelstrom Pulse as his removal spell on Pia and Kieran. There could very well be an instant speed removal spell still lurking in hand.
Jeff just played a land and passed the turn. The value play he always has available is he can always Court of Calling for Eternal Witness to get back Court of Calling if he chooses to.
Right.
And here comes Tarmogoyf, still 3-4. Jeff will take the damage. Now Liliana pluses. Both players discard a card. Jeff's going to Court of Calling in response for 3. Getting Eternal Witness. Okay.
Eternal Witness is likely to get back Obstinate Baloth, which will be Jeff's discard to Liliana.
And he'll get back Obstinate Baloth and discard it to Liliana. And Jessy will discard the Engineered Explosives. Whew. Big turn of events here for Jeff.
I wouldn't call it showboating necessarily, but Hoogland's...
No, it's just a good play.
Hoogland always gestures aggressively when he makes a play like this. We saw him just
he
toss the
knows
creature on the battlefield. You walked into this, buddy.
Especially when you pair that with the Restoration Angel in Jeff's hand. Restoration Angel can blink the Eternal Witness to get back Court of Calling to go get Kiki Jiki. That's a huge turn of events for Hoogland.
Yeah.
Another Tarmogoyf for Hefner does not seem like enough. It is a 5-6, though. We hit Jessy discarded Artifact, and Jeff played an instant.
Hefner would have benefited greatly from a targeted removal spell at any stage in this game. An Inquisition of Kozilek, a Thoughtseize, right.
So we go back to Hoogland. One thing you need to watch out for is Jeff's ability to end step Restoration Angel, blinking Eternal Witness, and casting Court of Calling for 5 all in one swoop.
And Hefner still choked on mana, still hanging out on 3 mana. It's just going to be difficult to keep up in this game whatsoever.
Wall of Roots for Jeff.
And Jeff also just has a land in his hand to discard. This Wall of Roots actually gives him 2 mana. He can, for the Court of Calling, he can convoke the creature and make a mana with the ability.
He is still, if he gets to untap with those lands and all the creatures he has in play, he can Restoration Angel and Kiki Jiki in the same turn, but cannot do it with the tapped lands.
Yeah, and he's not under enough pressure to have to do that just yet.
Yeah, he does have a lot of freedom here. Liliana -2 will have Jeff sacrifice a creature. He'll get rid of Wall of Roots. That adds Planeswalker to the graveyard. These Tarmogoyfs up to 6/7s. They will swing. Eternal Witness will block 1 Tarmogoyf. And here's where Jeff may end up going for a combo.
He's going to go for Restoration Angel.
Targeting Witness, yeah.
Does Hefner have Path to Exile or Abrupt Decay?
Abrupt Decay will take care of the Eternal Witness. So well played here by Jessy to force Jeff's action first. If he'd gone for the Abrupt Decay first, then Jeff wins this exchange.
Yep, putting his Liliana in the graveyard made this attack with the Tarmogoyfs just
too big to not go for.
It was a huge swing.
Another land for Hoogland. And boy, does he wish he had that Court of Calling.
Yeah.
If he can find Kiki Jiki, the win is on the board. Baloth did a lot of great work here, but the Tarmogoyfs are too big. That's what I get for calling it Tarmo Squires. It's now a 6/7.
I told you this card is good.
It's not real. 6/7s for 2 are good Magic cards.
On the previous turn, if Hoogland just takes 12, his option, he could go for the Restoration Angel at end step, but it's unlikely that Hefner is going to do anything other than leave up Abrupt Decay. So it doesn't look like Jeff actually had good lines.
A swing from Hefner. Hoagland's going to try to double block. When he does, Jessy Path to exiles one of Hoagland's blockers.
In return, Jeff Path to exiles the unblocked Tarmogoyf.
But when the dust settles, it'll be 1 Tarmogoyf on Jessy's side, nothing on Hoagland's side, 0 cards in Hoagland's hand, 3 in Hefner's.
And if Hefner just plays another Tarmogoyf or even a Dark Confidant would be exceptional here.
If he draws Court of Calling, he may be able to Chord Witness, try to set up an interaction of Chording Witness, Chord to Resto, Chord to Kiki Jiki. It's a long shot because 1 removal spell disrupts the whole thing, and Hefner is sitting on 3 cards. But
right. 3 cards, and he's missed some land drops this game.
Yeah, so they're spells.
He's posturing like he's messing with his graveyard. I think we're looking at a Tassiger.
Tassiger seems great.
I'm going to leave the card types in my graveyard that you don't have. I have this artifact that's going to pump my Tarmogoyf.
And then he'll play Nihil Spellbomb. And that actually stops the Court of Calling out for Hoogland.
Right. Even though we don't have black mana to draw a card, we can always exile Hoagland's graveyard.
Well, Hoagland's draw wasn't Court of Calling, it was Birds of Paradise. Hefner will path to exile it, attack with the team, and game and match over to Jessy, Hefner, and Obzon.
That was a really well-navigated game by Jessy, I must say. He was pretty choked on mana.
Yeah, he was on 3 for most of the game, while Hoogland was assembling Court of Callings and Restoration Angels and got to put a Baloth into play. There were a lot of real dangerous things going on that side.